Okay, operations of functions. We have the given function f of x equal to 2x squared plus 3x minus 2, and g of x equal to x squared over x minus 3, and then your h of x is equal to the square root of x cubed minus 2 plus 5, and j of x equal to mx plus 5. So I suppose that's m times x plus 5. Okay, let's start. So starting off with number 1, find the following, f plus g of x. So you are going to consider on the letters that are appearing. So for number 1, we have our f plus g of x. So that means to say we are considering only your function, your f of x and the g of x. So this time we will have here first f of x, which is 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. So what I normally do, I'm going to put inside a parenthesis the function in which that stands for, so that later on, once I go back and recheck if I've committed a mistake on, so I can go and take a look if I have the correct function replaced. And then we go for plus, because we have here plus for the two functions. That means we're adding. And then we have our g of x, which is x squared over your x minus 3. So we will be doing, let me just put this one in a parenthesis. And then we go for simplifying. Now this one is quadratic. This one is rational. So that means we cannot combine anything on that one because this is rational still. So what to do is you are going to get the LCD of the two functions. LCD, that's the least common denominator. Since your first function doesn't have a denominator, so all you have to do is to just put 1. So that means you've got x minus 3 as your denominator. Let me just erase that one first so that I have a big space there. So again, in getting the LCD, all you have to do is to just get the common. We have 1 here and we have x minus 3. So that means to say we have x minus 3 as our LCD. In getting the LCD, if you've got some number in here, you just have to multiply that one to the other denominator in there. So next we go for dividing your LCD in here by the denominator of the first function. So we have 1 here, so x minus 3 divided by 1, that is x minus 3. So you just simply copy x minus 3 in here. And then, of course, you just simply copy the entire first function. We have 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. And then we are going to copy the plus sign and we divide this LCD by the denominator on the second function. So x minus 3 divided by x minus 3, that is 1. And then we multiply your 1 with your numerator. So we have x squared in there. So next line. Let me just delete this one. There. So next line is we will be simplifying the top numbers or variables, or we call that one as the numerator. So we simply copy the denominator as it is. So we have x minus 3. And then we simplify this one. This is multiplication. So in multiplying, this is binomial. This is trinomial. When you say nomial, it's in terms. terms, those are your variables or numbers that are separated by a plus or a minus. So this is binomial because you have two terms. This is trinomial because we have three terms. Now, there are different ways in how to multiply binomial and trinomial or polynomial. First is you can distribute each of your terms on the binomial to the trinomials in there, or you can just make use of my own method in which I'll be teaching that one later once I'm done with this with a distribution. So first, using distribution, you can have here x, distribute that one on the trinomial. So we have, let me use my other ink. So x times 2x squared, that means this is now 2x to the power of 3. Why 2x to the power of 3? Because when you multiply x and 2x squared, you will be just simply copying the 2 and then adding your exponent. You have 1 here as an exponent. So once you've added the exponent, you have 1 plus 2, that's 3. Then copy your variable, which is common. Next, we go for distributing x to your 3x. So x times 3x, you just have to copy 3 there. And since this is plus, so you just have to copy plus. And then you have x times 3x, copy the number 3. X times x, you'll be adding your exponents. So we have 1 and 1, that is going to be 2. So copy the variable x, and then you add the exponents of your common variable. Next, we go for distributing your x to the third term, which is negative 2. Since this is negative and you've got that one positive, positive times negative, that is negative. And x times 2, you simply have copy the number 2 and then your variable. So that's it. Now, we're not yet done. We are going to do our second term on the binomial. Second term is negative 3. So you have to bring along with you your sign. That's minus, so you have to bring this along in distributing. So we have negative 3, distributing that one to your 2x squared. That means it's gonna be negative as well, because negative times positive, that's negative. 3 times 2, that's 6. And then you just simply copy your variable and the exponent. So we have negative 6x squared. And then after that one, you distribute negative 3 to your 3x. So again, we start with the sign. Negative times positive, that's negative. 3 times 3x, so we can just simply multiply the numbers. 3 times 3, that's 9. And just copy your variable x. And of course, whatever is the exponent in there. Since that is with 1, so we just don't need to write that. Next, we go for negative 3 times negative 2. So we start with our sign. Negative times negative, that's positive. 3 times 2, that's gonna be 6. So again, we copy our plus 1. So let me just change my ink again so that you can trace back if you went wrong. Okay? So we have plus in here, and then of course 1 times x squared. This is x squared. And then let me extend the line. And then we go to the next line of our solution. So again, we have there the numerator and of course the denominator. So this time we can now combine our like terms. So when we say like terms, we are going to combine those that have the same variable with the same exponent. So let us start with the exponent, which is cube, or the degree or exponent is 3. So we have here 2x cubed. We don't have any other x cubed here, so we just simply copy that one. So 2x cubed. And then we go for the square. So we have this one here. 3x squared, and we also have 6x squared but with negative or minus. So we are going to combine that one. So 3x squared minus 6x squared, and then we plus that one with x squared. So let me just rewrite that one so that you can go through with it later on. So plus 3x squared minus 6x squared, and then we have plus x squared. Or in other way, let me just rewrite everything in order so that it will be easier for you to look that up. Next, we have negative 2x. I'll put that beside our negative 9x. And we don't have any other x there, so we have the number which is plus 6. And then we copy x minus 3. So next, we go for combining like terms again. So we start with 2x cubed. And then we have plus. So 3x squared minus 6x squared, that is negative 3x squared, because this is positive, this is negative. So you will be just subtracting your numbers 3 and 6 and then copy the sign of the bigger number, which is negative. So it's gonna be negative 3x squared plus x squared. So negative 3x squared plus x squared, I'm going to copy that one so that you will be guided on where are we now. So we have negative 3x squared, and then we still have plus x squared here. And then we can just go and combine this right away. So negative 2x minus 9x, they are of the same sign, so we can just simply say negative 11x and then plus 6. And then we have x minus 3 on the denominator. So we can just combine this one right away. You have actually the freedom of combining that one right away. It's just a way of me showing you that it should be done like that. But anyways, you can just combine this x squared right away. Okay, next we go for combining this one. Negative 3x squared plus x squared, that will be negative 2x squared. Because it's negative, this is positive, they don't have the same sign. So you just have to subtract the numbers. Negative 3 and 1, that is negative 2. And then copy the common, which is x squared. And then we just copy negative 11x plus 6. And then we have our x minus 3. So that is now our f plus g of x. So I hope that helps out. There you go. Okay, next, anyways, I'm not gonna teach you the box method. You might be confused, but anyways, let me just have it like that. Next, we go for number 2. Okay, we're good for that one because it says here express it as one fraction. So that means that's okay. Next, we go for number 2. We have f times h of x. So we are going to look at our function name. So we have f, that should be with the f of x. So we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. And then again, I'm placing that one in a parenthesis just to indicate that that is our function for f of x. Next, we go for h of x. This is multiplication, so we just have to multiply that one. We have our square root of x cubed minus 2, and the plus 5 is outside. Okay. So what to do with this one? Now, this is multiplication, so that means to say the previous thing that we did is going to be, or will be applied as well. So what are we going to do? We are going to distribute. Now, you have the freedom to choose when to start the distribution or where to start the distribution with. So you may start it with the 3 terms here, or the f of x here, and distribute that one to your g of x. Or you may also start with, on the g of x, it's h of x. Or you may start with the h of x and distribute that one to your f of x. So that really doesn't matter. The answer will still be the same. So I'll just choose the first one, f of x, so that you'll get used to the process that you will be distributing the first function like that. So it's really fine. So we'll start with this one. So that would simply mean that we've got 3 terms to distribute to the other term. So we'll start with this one. We have 2x squared. Distribute that one to square root of x cubed minus 2. So that means this is equal to 2x squared times the square root of x cubed minus 2. That's the first one. Okay, now, next, we go, you may write the parentheses in there or you may not. So let me just have this one like this one, because you might be confused later on. Next, we go for the first term distributed on the second term on the other function. So we have here plus, this is gonna be a plus because you've got their positive and positive. So that really is a way for you in determining what to write there, a plus or a minus. So you just take in your sign for the first number and this sign of the other number. So positive times positive, that's positive. So we have a plus in there. So 2x squared times 5. So let me just write it, this one here, and later on we'll just have to do the simplification. So let's now move on. Next is, we're done with the first term. We go to the second term. Second term is 3x. So we'll be distributing that one on the first term of the other function. So we have positive times positive. That is positive still. We have 3x times your square root of x cubed minus 2. And then we go for this one here and the second term of the other function. So we have plus again because positive 3x times positive 5, that will be a positive still. So we have 3x times 5, that's gonna be 15x. And then we go for the next term on our first function. We have negative 2. And also distribute this one here on the first term of the other function. We have negative 2 times square root of your x cubed minus 2. And then we go for the next term. We have negative 2 times positive 5. By the way, this is negative because we have negative and this one is positive. Negative times positive, that will be negative. Next, we have negative 2 times 5, that's positive. So that means this is negative as well. And 2 times 5, that's 10. So this is now our result. So we go for combining like terms, or not yet combined like terms, but simplifying or multiplying those terms that need to be multiplied. Next, we have here 2x squared times square root of x cubed minus 2. This is now the rule in radical function or radical expressions. When you say radical expressions, those are the expressions that contains radical symbol. So like this one here, this is radical expression. Now when you multiply radical expression and a number, you cannot multiply that number and the numbers inside. Instead, you will just be copying the numbers that you are multiplying with the radical expression. So just simply copy our x cubed minus 2. So we're simply writing 2x squared besides square root of x cubed minus 2. Next, we go for the next term. We have plus 2x squared times 5. So this time, we have a number to be multiplied to 2x squared. So we'll be multiplying number to number. So 2 times 5, that's 10. And then we simply copy x squared. Next, we go for this one here. This is 3x times square root of x cubed minus 2. So we simply have to copy plus 3x And then right beside it, your x cubed minus 2. Next one, we have plus 15x. So we simply copy that 1. And the next one is we have negative 2 times square root of x cubed minus 2. So again, when you multiply radical numbers or radical expression to a number, you just have to simply copy that number and then place that one beside your radical expression. So we just simply copy that one and then we simply copy minus 10. So looking at combining what we can combine, if you try to look at that one, you've got their highest exponent is 2. So you may start with this one here, the 2x squared, and also with the square root of x cubed minus 2. You may do that one. So writing that up, because we cannot combine 2x squared and the 10x squared in there because of the radical expression that is attached to 2x squared. They are not the same term with your 10x squared. So do not combine them. Just copy every single thing. Hold on. I might not copy that one because I might not have anything that I can combine with. Let me erase that one. So let's just examine everything. So first one is we cannot combine this one and that one. Next is we go and examine those that contain x. So we have here 3x with the radical expression. That cannot be combined with 15x because, again, 15x doesn't have any radical expression. And of course, this one, the negative 2, we cannot combine that with negative 10 because, again, because of the radical expression. So that is your final answer for f times h of x. So I hope that is clear. Okay, next one, we go for the third one. So let me just copy this one first. Hold on. Okay, there. So the third one is, we have that one as f of x minus g of x. So we start off with our f of x. We have 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. Sorry on that one. I really am having a sore throat. And then we have minus g of x. We have x squared over x minus 3. And then we place this one in a parenthesis. Now, this is very important when you are doing subtraction. You must place your function in a parenthesis because later on when you have more than 2 of your terms on the second function, this will really change. The sign will really change on those expressions on the second function. But since you only have one term here, this is only with one term, even though you've got denominator which contains 2 terms, this is considered one term because you have this one as a fraction. Okay? So I hope that's clear. This is considered to be one number. So that's one term. So again, if that is one term, you don't need to change the sign of your inner terms. What do I mean by inner terms? This one, the x minus 3, you cannot change that one as with respect to the sign. Sorry. Okay, now, so what are we going to do? We just have to copy. You can take off this parenthesis if you want to. You have 2x squared plus 3x. And then we have minus 2. And then we have minus, and then we can take this off. This is x squared over x minus 3. So again, similarly with the first one, when you're adding, you will be doing the same thing as with subtracting your function. You have to get the LCD of the entire fraction. Take note on this one. This is your first function. You may have that one with 1 as the denominator. So the LCD here is the same thing. We have x minus 3. And again, you will be dividing your LCD with the denominator of each of your function. So we have x minus 3 divided by 1, that's x minus 3. And then we will be multiplying this one to the numerator. So we have 2x squared plus 3x minus 2. And then we go for the second function. We have x minus 3 as the LCD, dividing that with the denominator x minus 3. That is 1. And then we copy the minus there. And then the 1. And we'll multiply that to the numerator, which is x squared. There you go. And then we go for, again, multiplying this one here, because that is multiplication. So we go for distributing. So first, we distribute x to your 2x squared. So we can have x times 2x squared here. And then we go for distributing x to our 3x. So again, that's positive. And this is also with a plus. That's positive. So this is now plus x times 3x. So we just copy 3 and then multiply x and x. So we're simply adding their exponent. So we have x. 1 plus 1, that's gonna be 2. So we have 3x squared for that one. Next, we go for x and the negative 2. So we have here x times negative 2. That gives off negative 2x. And then we go for the second term of your binomial. So we go for this one, the negative 3. We distribute that one here. So negative 3 times 2x squared. That will be negative 6. Because negative 3 times 2, that's negative 6. And then we simply copy x squared. Next, we go for distributing negative 3 to your 3x. So negative 3 times positive 3x, that will be negative 9x. Because we have here 3 times 3, that's 9. We simply copy our x. Next, we go for negative 3 and negative 2. That will be positive 6 because we have negative times negative, or same sign times, same sign when you multiply, that gives off positive. So it's going to be positive 6. And then we simply copy minus, and then 1 times x squared, that will be x squared. Let me change my pen. And then we go for copying our denominator. So we have x minus 3 for this one. Next, we go for combining like terms, or simply simplifying this one, because I failed to simplify that one a while ago, or just directly multiply that one. So we just have to simply multiply this. This is x times 2x squared. This is 2x cubed plus 3x squared. So let me put all those with squares on it. So we have 3x squared minus 6x squared. And then we have minus x squared. Take note, when you are trying to move your numbers in here, you have to bring the sign which is before them. So this time we have x squared. The sign before them is negative, so you have to bring that along with your x squared. Next, we go for negative 2x, and then we have negative 9x, and we simply copy plus 6, and then over x minus 3. Combining like terms. Combining like terms meaning to say you combine those with variables that are the same and also exponents that are the same. So this time we only have 2x cubed, or with your cube as the exponent, so we just simply copy that one. And this time we have 3x squared minus 6x squared. That's negative 3x squared minus x squared. That's negative 4x squared. And then we go for negative 2x minus 9x. That's negative 11x plus 6. That's over x minus 3. So that is now our f of x minus our g of x. That's it. So I hope you were able to learn something.